Tonight, you might scroll through hundreds of posts, exchange dozens of messages, and feel completely, hopelessly alone. You surround yourself with more connection than any human in history, but your brain feels like it is stranded on a desert island. The real answer is far stranger than just screen time or bad habits. Your nervous system was forged in small, tightly knit hunter-gatherer bands of roughly 150 people. In those ancient groups, every face was familiar, every action had immediate social stakes, and being isolated meant literal, physical death. When you were separated from the tribe, your body flooded with cortisol and hypervigilance to keep you alive. Psychologist John Cacioppo spent decades studying this exact phenomenon and discovered that loneliness is not a personality flaw. It is an evolutionary biological alarm, just like hunger or thirst. Hunger tells you to find food. Thirst tells you to find water. Loneliness tells you that your current social environment is threatening your survival. When this alarm goes off, your brain switches into a subconscious defensive posture. You start misinterpreting neutral facial expressions as hostile. You pull back from interactions, anticipating rejection before it even happens. In a small tribe, this hypervigilance served a protective purpose. It made you cautious while trying to earn your way back into the safety of the group. Today, that same biological alarm is firing inside concrete apartments and crowded coffee shops. Sociologist Ray Oldenburg identified a crucial element that modern cities have slowly erased over the last century: the concept of the third place. Your first place is your home. Your second place is your workplace. The third place is the informal, neutral anchor of community life: the local diner, the public square, the corner pub, or the neighborhood park. These were locations where you could show up without an appointment, encounter familiar faces, and engage in low-stakes, repeated physical interactions. When urban design and hyper-convenience eliminated these physical anchors, human interaction was digitized. Robin Dunbar, an evolutionary psychologist at Oxford University, mapped out human social structures and found that our brains can only maintain around 150 stable relationships. Within that number, only about 5 people form your core support network. Digital networks tricked your brain into thinking it was maintaining hundreds of active relationships simultaneously. You see their photos, you read their thoughts, and you track their daily lives. Your conscious mind registers this as total social saturation. Your primitive nervous system, however, detects something entirely different. It notices the absence of micro-expressions, touch, eye contact, and shared physical vulnerability. Anthropologist Edward T. Hall coined the term proxemics to describe how physical distance dictates human emotional processing. Without physical proximity, your brain cannot release optimal levels of oxytocin during communication. You are effectively consuming the social equivalent of empty calories. You feel full of information about people, but completely starved of actual connection. This creates a paradoxical psychological loop known as the hyperconnectivity trap. The lonelier you feel, the more you seek digital connection to soothe the pain. The more digital connection you consume, the more isolated your primitive biological machinery feels. You end up surrounded by thousands of digital voices while remaining utterly invisible. Sociologist Robert Putnam tracked this exact decline in civic engagement, observing how people gradually stopped joining local clubs, bowling leagues, and neighborhood gatherings. We traded the friction of real-world relationships for the frictionless convenience of digital isolation. Real-world relationships require patience, physical presence, awkward silence, and emotional risk. Digital interactions allow you to curate your image, edit your text, and disconnect the moment things become uncomfortable. By removing the friction, we also remove the deep biological safety that only comes from shared physical presence. Your brain begins to interpret this constant, frictionless distance as a quiet sign that you have been cast out from the tribe. So tonight, as you look down at a screen packed with endless updates and quiet notifications, remember that your body is not broken. You are simply an ancient social creature living in a world that traded real proximity for digital convenience, and the only way to silence the alarm is to step outside and risk being seen in the real world again.